Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for checking out the video. I'm really excited for this week's topic. It's about health, wealth, and relationships, and how they kind of all tie into each other instead of actually taking away from each other. So I'm getting blinded by the sun coming in here. It feels pretty nice. Take some notes. Really dial into this one because I think the topic's something that really does need to be talked about more, and really about how to live up to your potential in all areas of your life, not just your health, not just your business, not just your relationships, but like how to live with all three in congruence with each other. So hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it here. All right, let's get right into it. So health, wealth, relationships. Three things basically every single ambitious person on the planet says they want, including you, including me. And here's what I've noticed after years of doing this. Almost everyone is obviously chasing all three, but almost no one actually has all three at the same time. They've either got all the money, but their body's falling apart. Their guts hanging out over their belt. They look like a human meatball. Or maybe they got the body. They're jacked. They're chiseled. Look like Zac Efron, Baywatch, but the bank account is kind of toast. Maybe they're alone, or the marriage is hanging on by a thread. There's usually at least one that's getting sacrificed. And today I want to talk about, number one, why that happens, but also why I think it's the most expensive mistake you can make, because I've made it. I've watched my friends make it. And once you see what I'm about to show you, you literally can't unsee it. So yeah, this one's a little personal for me. Stick with it. Let me start by just reframing the whole thing, because I think the way most people think about this is just completely broken. You've got you think you've got a balance problem, and life is like, it's this juggling act, and you're just not good enough at keeping all the balls in the air. That, if you could just be like more disciplined, more organized, you'd somehow be able to keep health, wealth, and relationships all spinning at once. And that's really not it. I don't think anybody truly has a balance problem. I think what you have is a priority problem. And you've quietly ranked these three things in an order, whether you realize it or not. And right now, for most of you, health is probably sitting dead last. And I'm going to show you why that ranking is actually sabotaging the exact things you're working so hard for. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand the trade you've been making every single day without actually realizing it. And honestly, even more importantly, you're going to understand how to stop and how to make these three things work for each other instead of against each other. So let's get right into it here. So here's how I want you to picture your life. You've got three pillars: your health, your wealth, your relationships. And sitting on top of those three pillars is everything you actually care about. Your peace of mind, your freedom, your sense of, I fucking made it. Like, I'm proud of the life that I built. Like, I am that guy, And the whole roof, the whole feeling of, I want to call it like self-actualization, is really being held up by these three columns. Now, the mistake that almost everyone makes is that they treat these like they're separate, like they're three different bank accounts, and you can pour like all your dollars into one and then just let the other two run low. I'll focus on the business now. I'll deal with my health when things calm down. Who here has said that before? The relationship can wait. Like, she understands. She knows I'm working hard. Then she goes and cheats on you with the mailman. Hey, we've all been there. But on paper, like, it feels logical to do that, right? You have limited time, you have limited energy, so you got to concentrate it in what's actually the most important. But that's not how these pillars work. They're not separate. They're connected. They hold each other up. When one starts to crack, it doesn't just stay contained, in its own little quarter there, just doing all right. It puts pressure on the other two. If your health goes and suddenly your work suffers and your relationships get tense, you've probably realized this in real time. Then, guess what? Your relationships go. Then your stress goes through the roof and your health follows it down. Like, you literally can't unwind after work and working out. Like, what the hell, man? You got no like actual enjoyment to your life. They're all linked. And that really cuts both ways, which is the whole point I want you to kind of walk away with at the end of today. Because if they can drag each other down, they can also lift each other up. So hold on to that. We'll kind of come back to that concept in a bit. But first, I need to call out the lie, because there's one sentence I've heard from so many like intelligent, driven, ambitious, like genuinely impressive people that I've looked up to. And of course, I've said it myself. The sentence is, I'll buy my health back later, or some version of that. I'll get in shape after X. I'll get in shape after Y. I'll start Monday. I'll start next year. It's let me grind just right now. Let me build the business. Let me hit the number. Let me get the freedom, and then I'll fix my body. Then I'll fix my relationships. Then I'll get the sleep. Then I'll get the stress under control. Then I'll be present at home. It's always then and then and then. It's always later. The plan is to sacrifice your health temporarily, stack up enough money, and use that money to buy your health back when you've got the time. Like, I'm telling you, man, with everything that I've got, this is the single most expensive lie anybody can ever tell themselves, because it's built on an assumption that's just not true. The assumption that health is something you can put down and pick back up whenever you're ready. The assumption that your relationships is something you can put down and pick up whenever you're ready. The assumption that your business, your income, your job is something you can put down and pick back up when you're ready. That it'll all be sitting there waiting for you, same as you left it. It won't be. Like, I'm telling you, it won't. But here's why that lie is actually so dangerous. Out of these three, health, wealth, relationships, money is the only one you can actually earn back. Okay, you can't really earn a business back. It would take a long time. It would have to be an entirely new business. But the money associated with that, you can earn it back. You lose all your money tomorrow. Yeah, it would hurt. It would be brutal. It would suck, but you could rebuild it. People rebuild from zero all the time. The skills are in your head. The work ethic's in your blood. The money comes back. But you can't buy back a body you spent 15 years running into the fucking ground. There's no amount of money that undoes the damage of a decade of no sleep, no movement, just shit foods, chronic stress. Sure, you can slow it, you can manage it, but you can't go to the fucking corner store and just buy the body you'd have if you just taken care of it to begin with. And man, you definitely can't buy back time with people. You can't buy back the years your kids were little while you were almost almost done at the office every single night. You can't buy back the season of your marriage that slowly went cold and quiet while you told yourself that she understood. You had to put food on the table. You don't get a fucking refund for those. There's no later in those two pillars. They're gone. Luckily, money is patient. Unluckily, your health and the people you love are not. And this is kind of the heart of it here. I'm not telling you this from some textbook. I really learned every word of this the hard way. So I got 3 stories that I want to tell you. The first one is the burnout. Back when I was running my painting business, I was making like real money for the first time in my life. I mean, real money. I was still in university and I was pulling in literally like 10 times what a lot of my friends were making. It was fucking, it was insane. I couldn't believe, I didn't know what to do with it. Luckily, I'm not the kind of guy that goes and spends insane amounts of money because I legit just didn't know what to do with it. I'm sure I would have bought something cool like a fucking sports car or something, but I just saved it, thank God. But at that age, just knowing that kind of cash was coming in, I felt completely unstoppable. So what did I do when I kind of realized what was possible being a business owner? I poured everything into it. I was working 70, sometimes 80 hours a week. My health went out the window for the first time in my life. I was kind of eating whatever, just fucking McDonald's on the road. I think I had like a farmer's wrap every single day, not sleeping, not really training, stressed out of my mind. Yeah, yeah, it's taking me back. But here's the thing that nobody really warns you about. I thought I was sacrificing my health for the business. Like it was some sort of trade where okay, I'll give up my health in the short term. I'll break in all this money, but that's not actually what happened. My health tanked so bad, and I started losing money from the business. I went through some serious fucking cash crunches. It was actually pretty terrifying. I struggled to pay some guys a few times. And, I was so fried. I was literally falling asleep in my truck between quotes. I couldn't focus. I was making bad calls, missing details, just fully dropping the ball on shit that I'd never normally drop. So the exact thing I was destroying my health for, my business, got worse because my health was gone. That was the first time it hit me. I wasn't trading health for wealth. I was bleeding both. So that's story 1. Story 2 is the empty win. Now, I've got a friend, and this guy kind of did the thing that most entrepreneurs dream about. He built a business, scaled it up, and he finally sold it for a number most people would call legitimately life changing. By every metric the world cares about, he won. He had the money, he had the exit, like the entire highlight reel. Now he can literally go do whatever the fuck he wants. But when I really asked him about it, he told me what was going on, and I was quite shocked. While he was building all of it, his health was sliding, and his relationships just weren't where he needed them or wanted them to be. Those two buckets were sitting basically empty, and I kind of saw this happen firsthand without even realizing what I was watching. Because being a man, you kind of hold your shit together on the outside. But he told me like it didn't matter how much money he made, the number kept going up. He was never satisfied. And he told me like you can't fill an empty health bucket and an empty relationship bucket with money. They're different buckets. He'd hit a goal he dreamed about for years, and he'd feel nothing. And because the parts of him that actually feel joy, like being healthy, being connected to people, those were just running on fumes. He won the game and discovered he'd been playing the wrong one this whole time. And story 3 is the life I built. And here's kind of the other side of the equation. I want you to hear this one because it's my proof that this system works in the other direction as well. Little story. So my girlfriend, I met her at a shoot. We were both models for a gym accessory company. Think about that for a second. I was only in that room because of my health and fitness. I was lean as fuck, like super shredded, and that's the only reason I was there. If I'd let my body go like I did during the painting days, I would never have even met her. And it's crazy. The most important relationship in my life exists because I'd invested in my health, and it didn't stop there. We recently took 3 whole months, and traveled Southeast Asia together. And we didn't do like the sit on a beach, lazy ass cocktails by the pool version. We did like insane hikes, rock climbing, like physical shit all day, every day, like the whole thing. Like that's how we actually bond. And it's how we really built the foundation of a relationship, through these shared experiences with our bodies that were capable of doing these difficult, challenging things that a lot of people, they wouldn't be able to fucking do. And none of that would have happened without our health. The fitness didn't take away from my relationship. It literally created it and then built it deeper. So yeah, basically 3 stories, all telling you the same lesson. When I traded my health for money, I lost both. My good friend won the money, and the empty buckets made it meaningless. But when I had my health dialed in, it didn't cost me anything. It handed me the best relationship of my life. And funny enough, I now am an online fitness coach. It's how I make my money now. This is the pattern. I know it's kind of a boofed up example, just in my case, but I want you to see the pattern here. Because the more you can recognize it, I'm sure you can pick out different areas of your life that this may apply to. Like, how can having better relationships actually impact my business, the money that I make, my health, and vice versa, all the way around. So yeah, let me give you another quick reframe that changed everything for me. We tend to treat health like it's 1/3 of the pie, one of the 3 things to manage, like all equal slices. But bad news for you, buddy. It's not. Health is not one of the 3. Health is the multiplier. It's the number that gets every other number like boofed up. That's what the other numbers get multiplied by. And here's the brutal math on that. 0 times everything you built is still 0. So yeah, man, like a dead man's net worth means nothing now. If your health is 0, it means you're fucking dead. You're in the ground. And a sick one's is maybe at like 10, then what does it all matter? When your health goes to 10 or below, it really doesn't matter how impressive the other numbers get at any level. If you're a fucking multi-billionaire, if you're Warren Buffett, and you're so sick you can't get out of bed, like what the fuck is all that money going to do for you? The business, the bank account, even like your relationships, they're screwed. Multiply all of it by a broken down body and you get nothing. That's the downside of being a multiplier. Take it to 0 and it zeroes out everything. But, and this is the whole point of this video, this is the thing I really need you to get. A multiplier works in both directions. If taking health to 0 zeroes everything out, then raising it multiplies everything. So this is where I'm getting pretty fired up here. Look at this. This gray line here, That's the person trading one pillar for another, grinding the business, neglecting the body, letting the relationship slide. And it's obviously pretty fucking flat. Maybe it even drifts down over time because every gain in one area is getting paid for out of another. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and they run in place for years. Now look at this gold line. Looks a lot better, right? It's the person who dials in all three, and it doesn't go up in a straight line. You'll notice it curves. It goes exponential. Why? Because the three pillars start feeding each other. Your health gives you energy, and that energy makes you better at business and more present in your relationships. Better relationships lower your stress. Lower stress improves your health, sharpens your work. The wealth buys you time and resource to invest back into your health and the people that you love. Round and round and round and round and round and round and round. Each one making the others exponentially stronger. That's compounding. The pillars stop competing for your limited energy and start generating energy for each other. And the gap between these two lines, between the person trading off and the person compounding, it doesn't just grow, it fucking explodes. Same hours in the day, completely different life. Like this is what's on the freaking table here, man. Like it's insane. So let me paint you what that actually looks like day to day when health is leading and the whole thing is compounding. You wake up with energy, real energy, not caffeine and fucking nicotine. Your brain is firing. So the decisions you make in your business are sharper, faster, better. The work gets easier, not harder, because the engine's running right. Your stress goes down, which means at the end of the day, you've actually got something left to give. You're calm, you're patient, you're actually able to be present with your wife, your kids, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your fucking dogs and cats. The people you're doing all this for, not physically in the room, while mentally like not being able to clock out from work. And there's also this confidence that comes from being strong and healthy that walks into the room before you do. It changes how you lead. It changes how you sell, how you carry yourself in every single interaction. This isn't some fantasy. This is just what happens when you stop sacrificing the multiplier. The other two pillars don't shrink when you prioritize your health; they grow. Yeah. So, what do you actually do with this? Okay, Drew, it makes sense. What the fuck do I do? So, first thing, I just want you to be honest with yourself right now. Do a full audit of your three pillars. And I mean, like, honest, not what you would tell some chick at a party or your boy at I don't know, whatever. Be honest with yourself the way you literally can't be honest with other people. So question one, if your body keeps going exactly the way it's going right now, same habits, same sleep, same stress, same neglect for 5 more years, would you be proud of where it ends up? Okay. Question two, when is the last time you were fully present with the people you keep saying you're doing all this work for? Not in the same house, not on the same couch next to them, scrolling on your fucking TikTok. Like actually present, eye contact, attention, like fully there. And then question three is the big one. Which pillar have you been quietly sawing away at? Because realistically, you already know which one it is. You probably knew before I even asked. So the real question is, what is it actually costing you? Not someday, not 5 years down the line, but what is it costing you right fucking now? Okay. Once you have that information, and I really mean it, like take some time and reflect on this. It's very rare that people these days actually have time to just sit and think. Every piece of downtime that you have in your day-to-day life is filled up with your fucking phone, with your Instagram, with your TikTok, with work, with music. I want you to sit in silence and actually like fucking ponder for once. Okay. Once you do that, make the move. The simplest version I can give to you is just take 90 days. Your health goes first, not last when things calm down. This is the first thing I want you to chip away at. It's not complicated. Train at least 3 times a week. Walk every day. Get your steps in, at least 10,000 steps a day, and get protein into every meal. And sleep at least 7 to 8 hours a night. Like sleep like it's actually a part of your job, because it is a part of your job. It's the thing that's making you be effective at work possible. Like this is bare minimum stuff, guys. Like I can't even describe how fucking easy this is. Just go out and do that. I promise you're already going to see life-changing results. But here's the part that scares people. So I want to make sure you understand it. You don't have to subtract a single hour from your business to do this. I don't want you to quit anything. I don't want you to put anything on the back burner. I don't want you to pull back on your ambition. Just put the health pillar back up and watch what happens to the other two. Watch your focus sharpen, watch your output be better, watch yourself show up better at home. Um, yeah, like health it doesn't take anything away from the other two pillars. Now, remember that gold line, it funds them. It's the investment that pays into everything else you care about. You're not choosing between your health and your success. Your health is what unlocks your success and the relationships and the satisfaction my buddy never got because his other buckets were empty. So yeah, here's where I'll leave you. Stop trading the one thing that pays for everything else. You can have all three. You can be successful. You can be healthy. You can be genuinely present with the people that you love. And not only is all this possible, these three things make each other better when you stop forcing them to compete. The money, the body, the relationships, dial them in together, and they compound into a life that most people never even get close to. But it really starts with one decision. Stop ranking the multiplier dead last. So if this hit home, do me a favor, drop a comment, tell me which pillar you've been neglecting. Be honest, this actually helps with my content so I can just provide more value to you and even the next person reading into it. Hit subscribe. I put these out every single week. And come follow me on Instagram. I'm at Dial Davies. I'll put the link in the description here. That's where I share kind of the day-to-day of actually living this and all the thoughts and insights and the random shit that comes to my mind. I promise you guys, if I have these thoughts all the time and I just lay them out pretty raw on Instagram instead of putting together a fancy presentation. So if you like this, I think you'll like that as well. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.